Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's introduce ourselves. We are from Group 6, Introduction to Translation from Class 1C. I am Sarah Halia Puspanegara as moderator and speaker 2. Alfizra Muhammad Raihan as speaker 1, Raudatul Jannah as speaker 3, Margareta Rosa Faulia as speaker 4, Azahra Citra Mahira as speaker 5. Material this time, we will discuss about how to translate one word into different sentences.
Number 1. How to translate per word. This method on translating this model is a method commonly used by people who are still laymen and are just learning a language. For example, English. Translating per word is indeed quite easy to apply, because most of the available translation tools such as dictionary books, Google Translate, or others are still more widely used in translating per word. On several occasions, this method has given good results. However, not infrequently, it will also lead to inaccurate translated results when compiled into a sentence. For example, saya makan nasi, I eat rice. This is a candy. Ini adalah sebuah permen. However, it would be more complicated and inaccurate if this way of translating per word was used by joining directly into a sentence. This requires understanding English more like grammar. Another example, I want to take a walk with my friend in elementary school. Saya ingin pergi bersama teman saya pas SD. Another example, there are 3 boys and 3 girls in group A. Ada 3 anak laki-laki dan 3 anak perempuan dalam kelompok A. We can see here, because the wording of the source sentence and the target sentence is similar, the word or forward method can be applied. And another example, I know that little girl. Saya tahu itu anak perempuan. The correct translation should be saya kenal anak perempuan itu. In this example, the structure of the language in the short sentence and the target sentence it's not the same. So, we prefer to avoid the word method.
2. How to translate per sentence. Translation per sentence is much better because it is done by understanding one sentence as a whole in order to make it more natural and more organized. This method of translating this model takes a little longer because it requires a process of structuring the words by looking at the English side so that they can become easily understood sentences. Example, jika kamu mengubah caramu melakukan sesuatu, hal pertama yang perlu kamu lakukan adalah beri alasan yang cukup kuat kenapa. Well, if you're going to change the way you do something, the first thing you must do is give yourself a big enough reason why.
3. Translation per paragraph. This translation is useful when you want to do school or college assignments that require you to translate a story, article, news, or article that has more than one paragraph. Do not trust Google Translate too much because there will always be translations that are not suitable and wrong.
4. How to translate grammatically. This method of translating this one is quite difficult to do, especially for those who are still not at a qualified level of English, because grammar is a frightening factor for English learners. Grammar in English is the same as the EYD or Enhanced Spelling System. The placement of affixes, suffixes, adverbs of time, place, properties, objects, present, past, and future information for some people is not a pleasant thing to learn. However, once this has become a routine and knowledge that is in your head, writing, listening, reading, speaking properly and in an orderly manner will become easy things to do.
Number 5. How to translate freely? This freely translation is usually done more broadly when it comes to spontaneity such as speaking. You don't need to pay too much attention to grammar and the structure of words, sentence, and paragraph, because as long as the other person understands what is being said, this is not a big problem. This method of translation freely is mostly done by beginners because it is faster and less confusing. How to translate freely? It's a heavy rain. You have better stay here for a while or you will be soaking wet. Di luar hujan deras, lebih baik kamu tinggal dulu beberapa saat atau kamu akan basah kuyup. The term heavy rain does not mean heavy rain but is adjusted to the choice of words commonly used in Indonesian, namely hujan deras. Likewise, the term soaking wet is defined as an appropriate choice of words in Indonesian, namely basah kuyup.
Finally, that's the result of our presentation. Thank you for your attention and sorry for our mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.